Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
Good on, everybody. Welcome on in to the virtual edition of Voice of the Land. Yes, Mother Nature decided to, I guess, show what winter actually is today because we have not had a normal winter here in Northeast Ohio. But hey, we're all staying safe. We're staying inside. We're staying warm. And hopefully you guys are as well. I'm Kevin Arnold. Somewhere around here, it is Always Positive Jay and audio behind the scenes, making sure that while this show still works. There's a lot to get into tonight. Yes, we do have two guests coming on tonight. Both are from the Cleveland Crunch because next weekend, the Cleveland Crunch raring to go. They are already 2-1. They've had a couple road games. We're going to talk to their captain, Dave Jordan, coming up in just a little bit. And then, of course, we will talk to some people from the organization because the Crunch, they're playing at the IX Center this year. 4 of their will be at X Center. What is that experience going to look like? What is it all going to entail? What can fans expect out there at the IX Center with more space, more people that can fill the spot? Yes, the Soccer Sportsplex in North Olmsted, Ohio is great. It is their home. It's where they started when they got back going back in 2020. But hey, they want to get involved. They want to come out and see this team. So they found a way to get with the IX Center. They're going to test it out this year. And if it, boy, that is going to open up a lot of possibilities, a lot of opportunities for the Cleveland Crunch and for Major Arena Soccer League, which they have now joined this year. They left Major Indoor Soccer from last 2 seasons. But, Jay, before we get into the Crunch, a lot of news this week here on the Voice of the Land as the Browns got their new defensive coordinator. The Cavs had a roller coaster week as their season has been a roller coaster, and it's time to start talking baseball. Yeah, Guards Fest was yesterday. Wife and I, we went out there. We'll talk about all of that. We are, of course, on the Big Play Network. We are partnered with LPV Productions, and we are brought to you by Vector Technical. The job the first time more to count them as the show goes. Jay, Jim Schwartz announced and introduced in Berea as the defensive coordinator for the Browns. Your reaction to that, your reaction to the press conference, have you heard any of it? And just overall, was it the right move or don't really care? You just want to see him succeed on the field?
Kevin, guess what my reaction was to a press conference? I don't care anymore, dude. Like, we both, neither one of us care about press conferences. They're going to come out and they're going to say the right things. He said some things that got the fans behind him, which is he was very smart about. But I'm trying my best to just stay to a show me and prove it. Now, am I excited about this guy being here? Of course I am. One of our biggest weaknesses is the defensive line, and this anywhere and everywhere this guy has ever gone, he's transformed their defensive line and gotten Pro Bowls and all-pro defensive linemen from him, and that's what we need right now. And I'd love to see him bring out the full potential in Myles Garrett because, I mean, he's an excellent player, but we all kind of felt that he has not reached what he truly is meant to be. And I think Schwartz is going to bring that out in him.
Audio, any reaction to Jim Schwartz being here? Or are we just past the point of this whole Browns winning the offseason? Because I know I am, and I'll touch on that here in a little bit, but got to know what you thought of that hire and at least him being brought here to Cleveland.
Well, I mean, I think any change is probably a good change at this point, but I don't know. I've really got to see what happens. We've had such high expectations in the past with things changing, only to be disappointed. So, seeing is believing. Make me a believer.
That's why I'm tempering my expectations. Normally, I get excited and they just disappoint me year after year after year. I'm mainly glad at least he's a proven guy, but yeah, show me.
Yeah. Now we talk about type of people that are willing to have conversations with people on social media and have an actual conversation. That's what this whole show is about. Is we're not gonna wow you with our hot takes. We're not going to yell at each other. We're not going to. If people watch us and they tune in or they listen to the audio on Google, Spotify, or Apple, or any podcast platform throughout the week, whatever, we appreciate you beyond belief. But you do it because we're just who we are. And I guess saying that, I almost got into it with a couple of people that responded to my tweet saying, no one wins a press conference like the Browns. No one wins an offseason quite like the Browns and makes their entire fan base forget about all the disappointment from the season. I know that Jim Schwartz is a little bit different. The Eagles, because his defense was a major part of why that team won that Super Bowl. And yes, he has been as a defensive coordinator. As a coach, not so much, but I mean, he did coach in Detroit, and they are kind of like us, but they haven't had much success, and they don't always give the right people the right to succeed and build that success.
When defensive coordinators, if they be a head coach, that means they're a damn good defensive coordinator at one point. So.
Yeah. And Jim Schwartz, again, he has proven it. So it's a little different. There is proof in the pudding, as they would say, to kind of go off of what he said. Yes, he won the press conference because he told all these old stories and how he took the last of the turkey from good old Bill Belichick, and they thought that they had something.
That ain't hooking me no more, Kevin. Give me no more.
I understand. And I'm saying all of this facetiously, like sarcastically, because it's not, for me, it's not going to win me back. I need to see it in September, October, and so on and so forth. I need my team playing today. I don't need my team being talked about as what are they going to do next to fix this team, because that has been the conversation almost every single offseason since 1999, with, of course, the exception being 2002 when they went to the wild card game, and 2020 when they won a wild card game and they were playing in the divisional round. But that's not much success since 1999, and not much success since the late 80s in total as an organization. You have to show me. Am I going to change my fandom? No, I am a Browns fan. I am a fan of Cleveland. But I am so sick and tired, and I wish more of us were really voiced how sick and tired we are of the Browns somehow PR-wise putting on a good face, because you feel like they hire the right person. They say all the right things. They tell you what everyone wants to hear, but they don't execute and give you what you want between the most important 4 lines for this team's success. Until that happens, I'm not going to care what happens in an off season. I'm not going to care what these people say in press conferences. And I'm going to stick to that, because in 2019, I said that going into 2020. And then they got me back in, and then they go to the playoffs, they go to the division round, even with COVID and all that stuff going on. I'm so over it, and I'm going to stick to it, just like we are sticking to our New Year's resolutions of getting out on time in segments and on this show. Today, it's not so tough because we're all at home. So, we just get off right at 8 and, hey, we're right at home. So it'll work out. This team, you have to show me on the field. And you know what? The head coach is still here. The GM is still here. The owners are still here. Paul D. Podesta, he is still here. And I don't want to get you going, Jay.
Can we just not say his name on this show ever anymore?
All right. Well, he's not Voldemort. He's not Voldemort.
He's going to be our Voldemort.
He didn't take Harry Potter's parents. All right. I mean,
what got me excited though is I'm really happy that Bill Callahan's coming back.
Yes.
At least that was the guy who showed us that he's a good coach, and he turned down a job because he wanted to remain our offensive line coach. And I think that was pretty important and overlooked by a lot of people.
And I'm not here to fully question someone that's probably forgotten more football than I'll ever know in my lifetime. But he has some questions to answer too, because even with the injuries, hey, Cincinnati had a lot of injuries. Their offensive line was dominating against the Buffalo Bills today with all these different players in there. Offensive line left a little to be desired this season, if I'm going to be honest. I know that Nick Chubb had a great start to the year, and once Nick Chubb gets back past that first line, he is very strong. But there were times, especially in pass protection, sometimes in that run game, when they were supposed to be dominant.
Wills, I think, had a bad, but going on what they were on their third or fourth string center at one point, still holding up pretty good. And when you see people like James Hudson come in and you don't miss a beat, and he does really well. For all the people that have come in and back like as backup roles and succeeded underneath him, including like the development of Wyatt Teller, he was hurt all year. And yeah, I love the dude. I think he's phenomenal coach, to be honest with you.
Am I saying that that's like a huge need or a big hole on this team? Absolutely not. But I am saying that when you have a season like you have, and you've had the last 2 seasons like you had, no one is immune from. Every single person in that building has to look in the mirror and figure out if this is actually going to work and we can move forward with Kevin Stefanski and this entire organization the way it's set up right now. And a major change, and I'm talking a major change in just how the team performs, has to take place and has to come out next season. And if the rust has been knocked off, the supposed franchise quarterback that we now have here and are paying $230 million, that will help maybe other little issues, because, hey, the same 3 teams are at the top of the AFC right now, and you're going to have to knock them off by having that guy under center. You have Patrick Mahomes, you have Joe Burrow, you have Josh Allen. You got to have that guy, that next guy that has the ability to go in. Burrow versus Allen. You need Watson versus Allen, Watson versus Burrow. You need to have a guy that can be the guy to come out on top in one of those matchups moving forward. Now,
yeah,
I leave you speechless a lot, Jay. You know, I try to conversation, and then sometimes I feel like I should just shut up.
As if you just kind of mic drop me, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with you. I just agree with this sometimes. But yeah, with the offensive line, I think that's more on the players. I think the coach is fine. A lot of this stuff, I think, is just the coaches the players need to, and they got to hold themselves more accountable. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. And again, it has to happen during the season, not just in the off season, when paper champions, off-season champions, they don't give out a Lombardi trophy for anything you do during the off season. Before we do hit our break, do want to touch on the Cavs and the Guardians. There was Guards Fest yesterday. I'll talk about that experience later on in the show in our last segment, but Cavs kind of an up and down week, Jay. And I know that Donovan Mitchell was out, but you lose by 1 in those waning seconds against Memphis. That's one that you really could have gotten against on a winning streak. Then you come out and you just play flat against the Warriors, who said, this game, all of our players are going to sit, and they get into it. This is too young of a team, too gritty of a team to do something like that.
Oh, that is. What did you think about people saying it was a moral victory in that loss against Memphis? First off,
I don't like moral victories.
No, I don't either.
And yes, maybe the Cavs get a little bit more of a pass with those things because them and the Guardians are successful organizations that they do the right things in the offseason, but then they also are building success during the season. You actually see what you want to see during the season, during the run of play. But I'm not taking no moral victories, because that would have been last season. This season, you're supposed to be taking a step forward in winning games like that.
I don't call those moral victories. I just call them tough losses. That game was a tough loss. The next one was a pitiful loss. And that was just, like the coach said, they disrespected the game, and I didn't like it one bit. Thing I like is I like how the coach is going to use that. He's going to use that to make this team better. They're very young. They got a lot of lessons they still got to learn. And when you just disrespect the game like that and think you're just going to roll out and beat anybody because their star players aren't there, you're going to get your ass kicked some nights. And that's exactly what happened to them.
Yeah, they got their ass kicked by guys that don't get a chance to play very much for the Warriors, but know that they're talented. They follow the same culture. That's what culture is right there. I mean, as much as I don't like the Warriors still, by that team and those young players coming out and doing exactly what they usually do, move the ball around, hit a bunch of threes, get some confidence, finish the game off. That's what culture does. It doesn't matter who comes in the game. They're all ready to go, and they all either step the game up or they maintain what the strong start was that the starters had. I actually got concerned, Jay, when I woke up yesterday and heard some of the comments after the game. Not JB saying they disrespected the game, but usually you hear the players kind of mimic what he was saying. And when Darius said no, he didn't feel like they disrespected the game, and Karis LeVert said he didn't feel like they disrespected the game, I started to think, and it was only for a brief second, is the message still getting across from JB? And I had my answer in that game against the Bucks. Yeah, they were without Giannis, and the Cavs could have done the same thing, but they were on the floor, getting the floor burns. Evan Mobley comes out with a 38 point performance, career high for him. And you saw that greediness, you saw the toughness, you saw even when the shots weren't going in, defensive rotations. You made the Bucks work for everything. And
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
When you play like that the next day after a crap game like that,
yeah,
did you disrespect the game? They could deny it all they wanted.
And
but they proved that if the message worked,
and that's
got to them, it went out, but
and that's what makes them so different than you're going in long seasons, you're going to have games where you get your asses handed to you. And even in nights that you're supposed to win, that may happen to you. But it's how you respond. And the NBA is so crucial. And so is baseball. It's different than football in the fact that, hey, the very next day or the day after, you get another chance to go out there. And when the message is right, when the culture is building, when the culture is right, you see the difference between, okay, one night, we're not going to let that define us. We're pissed off. We're going to go take it out on the next opponent that we have. And that's exactly what they did against the Bucks. And that's why I only questioned them for a second. And maybe sometimes frustration bleeds over from what we saw during the football season. But again, Cavs and Guardians are on a much different track than the Cleveland Browns. Another team in town that is on a much different track than the Cleveland Browns, and on the right track is the Cleveland Crunch. And they open up this upcoming weekend at home, 2 games at the IX Center. We're going to talk to their captain, David Jordan. On the other side of the break, you are tuned in to the Voice of the Land right here on the Big Play Network.
Are you struggling to hire the right talent or maybe even find the right career? Vector Technical makes it easy. Since 1992, Vector has provided Ohio employers with a reliable process for hiring and have helped thousands of job seekers advance in their careers. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. We invest time to get to know each client and candidate personally. Vector places people in job opportunities that they are truly excited about. Interested in learning more? Visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com to see a full list of our current job opportunities and to find out what Vector Technical can offer you.
Welcome back to the Voice Land right here on the Big Play Network. Kevin Arnold alongside Always Positive Jay. Audio is somewhere around here. We are doing the show from home this evening as Mother Nature made some of the roads somewhat unable to drive on today. Peter, if you're there, how is it out there by you right now?
It's not terrible, but the roads were getting a little snow covered, and I figured it wasn't going to get any better. So,
yeah, we're going east to west. Jay, you wouldn't have as far of a drive, but how is it down by over by you? And was it Garfield Heights, right?
I mean, I got a lot of snow in my driveway. I cleared mine and my neighbors off with their snow blower, but I haven't left my house all day. It's been great.
Well, it's been a lazy Sunday, and I think it's a good time to have a little bit of fun here on a Sunday. and bring in the captain of your Cleveland Crunch, Dave Jordan. We were just talking to in the break, and sounds like you were having a same kind of Sunday, right? Just one of those days you stay in, you take care of things around the house, right?
Sundays are my lazy days. The wife, she works from home, so I'm in her office right now. But yeah, she works from home, and I usually, take care of the kids on laundry day. So Sunday and football and soccer. So it's a nice lazy Sunday.
Yeah, well, those days are coming for me too soon here, David. As we, Jan and I were expecting our first. And any advice for me as a first time dad with some dad experience on your side? What is the best advice you can give?
It gets worse before it gets better, but it always gets better.
Okay.
Because I was obviously a new father when DJ was born, and I didn't know what to do. Most fathers always say you don't know what to do. You just do it.
Mm-hmm.
You read up on some stuff, but you just try to protect them, make them safe, have fun. You can't really discipline a 12-month-old.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
No, you just gotta learn with them. You figure out what they like and how they sleep and all that stuff. But it's a joy. It's the best feeling in the world when you come home every day and that little thing that you created is running out the hallway screaming "Daddy." So it's very fun.
I mean,
and two of them, it's even worse. It's not worse. It's even funner. But two kids are a lot harder to maintain.
I mean, like those are the images that I've had in my head for a while, like wanting to be a dad, but again, not knowing what to do. We're reading some of the books and stuff, but a lot of people have told us it really comes down to finding and just doing and figuring it out, right?
Right. Sometimes you get lucky and the kid sleeps, but sometimes you don't sleep, and that's where it starts to get tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm, I guess, however the last couple weeks have gone for me, and especially this week being sick earlier in the week, and not getting much sleep. Maybe that's that's God's way or the world's way of getting me ready for for not sleeping. But switching gears, though, I don't know how you switch gears to it, but you guys are having a lot of fun being with the Crunch and being back. And you guys are off to a 2-1 start in a new league.
Mm-hmm.
What has that start been like? How has the new league kind of been? Some same teams, but I know that you guys are going to face some teams you haven't really seen yet.
Well, it's good. My personal opinion of the league, you haven't gone through the whole thing yet, so I can't really base any opinions on the league yet. It's the teams are different, which I do enjoy. The reason why I still play at my age is because I still have the passion to play people that I have no idea who they are. I love that feeling of just going against someone who you don't see. The only image that you have of them is if you scout them or not. So I love that part of the game, and that's why I still continue to play. The season, how's it been so far? It's been good. We're above 500. That's we want to continue that route and keep winning and winning. We had this big month layoff that we had, so you can see in training that it's like they're starting to get annoyed with each other. We just continue to play each other, and it's just we want to get out there. We want to get out the 28th and just show what we've been doing for the past month, especially to the fans. And so we're ready. Is what I can say.
Yeah, going against yourselves for that amount of time between games can't be easy. What has kind of been the message at training when maybe some of those frustrations start to boil over and things? How do you guys continue to get your mindset refocused and know, we have an opponent coming up next week and we got a back-to-back. We want to get back to playing Crunch soccer. How is that message kind of doled out at training?
Well, I think honestly, it started with the loss in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a good team, but in the previous years we beat them pretty well. So I think that loss, it was a bad one. I would say that. I did dress with the team after that week and said, what our expectations are, and our expectations are to do better than what we did. So when I do play, play with everybody, because we've all played together. I mean, everyone that's been to the games, they've seen, this team, the same guys, a few new boys here and there, but it's really the core 8 guys have been together and doing this for 3 years. So they know what we're capable of doing. And we as a team know what we're capable of doing well. So we're striving, though I would say our goal, we haven't established one yet. We should have done that. But our goal is playoffs again. Our goal is another championship.
Dave Jordan, the captain, if you couldn't tell by his shirt, with the Captain Crunch shirt, but the captain of your Cleveland Crunch, joining us as they get set for a back-to-back games in a new facility coming up this weekend at the IX Center. Jay, you got any questions over there? It's hard right now since we're all at home. I can't really see Jay and know if he's got a question. Jay, you got something for Captain Jordan over here?
David, now, I'm a new soccer fan. Kevin's just getting me into this.
Watch the FIFA, didn't you?
Watch
the FIFA World Cup, get you a fan.
Yeah, actually, no. My first game was you guys last year. And I got, the biggest thing is for a new soccer fan, a lot of people I've heard from FIFA, they try to watch it, and they're like, it's just a lot of not scoring, barely any shooting. And I'm like, dude, go to a crunch game. It is intense. It is like soccer and hockey mixed.
Right.
It's so much more physical, and just the action it's just nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer to play indoor or do you prefer to play outdoor?
Well, at my age, yes. When I was younger, I loved.
Let's say you're at your prime.
My prime.
Did you enjoy outdoor more?
My prime is outdoor. I love outdoor. I love running. As a defender, I'd run up and down the field, and I still love doing that now at my age. But indoor, I also love it indoor. It's just a passion for me. It's just the passion of the game. But indoor, yes, it's faster. It's a lot more contact because it is faster. And you gotta. It's the same strategy as outdoor, but it's more compact. Again, it's faster. You have to think a little bit quicker, have to get more space. Indoor, it's just, it's really, you only got 2 seconds to kind of figure out your next move. And sometimes you need to figure that out prior to receiving the ball, stuff like that. But again, it's just a passion that I have for soccer, and indoor is just another love of the form of soccer that I do love playing. I mean, I even play futsal. I mean, that's even smaller. And I just love soccer, and it's just been part of my life for so long that I can't stop playing unless my body says no.
As the two of us, he asked me a while ago. He's like, do you care if we talk soccer? I'm like, dude, Kevin loves soccer. He truly does. I'm like, no one else is talking soccer. Everyone zigs, we'll zag, and just so you know, you guys got a voice with us all the time.
And that's what I wanted. I mean, Cleveland soccer is, there's a lot of good Cleveland soccer athletes in the area. If I'm coming from overseas, from Cleveland State and all stuff, the soccer in Cleveland is good soccer. It's just trying to showcase people's talents, and everything like that. And I know the Crunch, I used to go to games, and they had that big layoff. Just trying to get back to where, I don't think we're ever going to get it back to where it was. I mean, the Crunch with Zorn and Hector and all them, they were selling out the stadiums every week, But
we're going to get you back there and surf then some, bro.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of process. I don't think I'm going to be I'm going to be on the field at that point, but that's, in my personal goal that, I wish we can get back to that point, because, it is something to do in the wintertime. There's a lot of kids that do follow soccer now, with the World Cup and everything like that. They do have a big following in Cleveland area. And I just want to showcase that to everybody and just have another good environment to go to with your family and stuff like that. And, something to do outside of, going to bars, but you can go to that after the game.
The one thing I know about Cleveland is if you win championships, we'll back you, bro. We'll back you.
Yeah, I know. And, winning the first one, I think it helped a little bit. It helped a little bit more, but it helped big time to just come out of nowhere. I mean, we came in through COVID and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
The chatter was small. It was, a lot of the players were doing social media work, trying to promote it and, helping with the management side of it and everything like that. And winning that first championship helped promote it a little bit. And then second year, we did well. We took second again in the league against a good San Diego team. And it's just, I'm hoping that each year, step by step, we're rising with more fans and followers and everything like that. And hopefully we can make it big like it was in the 90s again like that. So let's hope and see,
as a kid, everyone would be like, oh, Cleveland never won a championship. You never won a championship. And I knew, I'm like, hey, man, Crunch won a bunch. So we got something. We won something. And that's all we had to fall on for years.
Yeah. They, you know what? To be honest, they always leave the Crunch championships out of Cleveland titles, but it is what it is. We'll try to bring it back on the map.
Yeah, don't worry, Dave. We'll on the Voice of Land, and when I get out there with Mark Munch Bishop, which I'm looking forward to doing, calling the games this coming weekend, we'll make sure that Cleveland still remembers why the Crunch matters to this town. Jay, you said if team wins a championship, we'll back you. We went 52 years of the main three sports, them not winning a championship, and those teams still got backing. I mean, the football do much anything. So you win a championship, you're going to get even more of the great Cleveland fandom. Dave, just one last question for you before we let you go, because don't want to take up too much of your time being with the kids. We're going to get Ryan on here. We're going to talk about what the fans can expect. But have you guys yet gotten a chance to check out what it'll look like at the IX Center? What are you looking forward to this kind of new venue, new ability to get more people in? And have you gotten a chance to check out what the field may look like? Are you guys kind of liking what that setup is, if so?
Let's just say we've been teased. We haven't seen. I communicate with Ryan. He teased me with a couple of photos of the boards being, like a corner, so like the boards being up and part of the turf being laid. But we haven't actually. None of us, besides Ryan and management, hasn't actually seen it yet. Now they say that the work's in progress. They're doing everything. They'll be ready. And the only thing I do push for is that they have it ready. If they have it ready midday Friday, that we're able to train on it Friday night. Just do a walkthrough and feel it out, and just you got to feel the field before you play on it. It's like a brand new course, so you got to have a little bit more of an advantage on it. So I do want to try to. We haven't seen it, but I do want to try to see it Friday. And like everybody is. It's just what's it look like. Everybody is excited to see and see what we can bring in for the first opening game at the Ag Center. So it's exciting, but we're still on the mindset of we got to get to that game first.
Well, on all the message boards on Facebook and throughout social media, there's a lot of people talking about it, ready, raring. So I know that there's going to be a lot of people out there this coming weekend. We're looking forward to it. Hopefully we get a chance to talk maybe post-game in some interviews and stuff, Dave. And you're always welcome back on the Voice of Land. We can't thank you enough for taking some time coming on here and promoting the Crunch. And we are right here on the Voice of Land. We're big Crunch fans. We're wishing you guys the best of luck moving forward here in the season.
I will see you this week. I will see you Saturday.
Yes, I'll see you there, Dave. Thank you so much.
Right.
That is Dave Jordan, the captain of your Cleveland Crunch, joining us here. We're going to catch a break, and then we're going to bring in the Director of Sales and Marketing, Ryan Ruiz, to talk about what the fans can expect out at the IX Center this coming weekend as the Crunch get their home season off. But before that, you need some of your Voice of Land gear like the hat I'm wearing right here in this commercial break. We'll tell you just where you can find that. This is the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network.
Whether you're looking to hire new talent or start a new career, Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has helped thousands of job seekers advance in their career with reputable partners throughout Northeastern Ohio. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. With an above-average hire-in rate of 1 in 4 candidates, Vector works hard to connect the right person with the right opportunity the first time. Vector Technical hires for skilled manufacturing and light industrial work and is sure to have a career that you've been looking for. To learn more, visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com.
your gear at voiceoftheland.com/shop. Well,
Welcome back, and I'm going to be bringing you in for once. I would never do this because Kevin's busy plugging in his computer. We're bringing in Ryan from the Cleveland Crunch. How's it going, Ryan?
Hey, Jay, how are you?
Pretty good. I like that crunch gear you got on there. That's looking pretty sharp.
Thank you.
You guys have to ship us
Represent the
out
club.
some of that gear so we can rock it on the show.
Get
Jay, you got to
some
pay
gear,
just like
yeah.
everybody else.
That's fine. I support my teams. If I pay for Browns gear, I'll pay for crunch gear. That's for sure.
Good.
Well, Ryan, again, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking some time to join us here tonight. Director of Sales and Marketing, Ryan Ruiz, on the show. Forward to this to unveil a new venue, at least for 4 of the 6 home games. Back-to-back games this weekend, 7 p.m. on Saturday, and then 1 p.m. on Sunday. What can Dave just talk to us? Captain Dave Jordan just talked to us. They've even been teased about what things are going to look like, what it's all going to be. What can you tell us and tell the fans about what they can expect this season?
Well, the amount of blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into this season is definitely like none other before it. So Dave's a great guy, and I was teasing him a little bit with some pictures. The field, number one, and we have a brand new field that we were able to obtain. We got boards from Chicago that are going to be assembled. So just the field alone, I mean, we're going to be playing on a much larger field. It'd be about 200 by 90. So a real field bigger than the Sportsplex. We have so many things, Kevin, in store for this season. I mean, when they brought me aboard, obviously I was a fan, and I, just like you guys, grew up, watching the old Crunch and even the old Force at the Richfield Coliseum. So this is like a dream for me to be doing this, and I've put my heart and soul into it. We've obtained new sponsors this year. We have made some great connections with past players that we're going to be. The amount of things that we have in store, the fans will not be disappointed. And if they are, then I'm doing something wrong, because we have put in a lot of energy into this, to making this great. And the biggest thing is that we're just like Dave said, we have a goal, and that's to win. We're going to win the league somehow, some way. We are going to win the league.
And how many fans do you guys expect to be able to hold in the IX Center versus the Sportsplex this season?
I mean, we're looking at a 400 to 500% increase in fans from the Sportsplex. So the IX Center could seat 2,500 plus, and we can even get more seats from that. I will be disappointed if we don't have at least 1,500 there on Saturday for opening night. Big announcement. We've kind of teased it a little bit. Cleveland.com did some coverage, but Zoran Karic, number 16, we are retiring that number on opening night, and that's a long time coming. We decided as management that we were going to blend the past with the present this year, and we were going to blend the present with the past, and a lot of fun things. Actually, Kevin, the first 1,000 fans that come in will receive a special Zoran Karic print that's numbered from 1,000. So there's 1 to 1,000 prints. Staples, one of our big sponsors, is presenting that. So just so much. There's so much exciting stuff, but there's also a lot of stress and energy that comes with it too.
and you and I have, we've shared some conversations, some stories about, being fans growing up, like you mentioned. But to tell our audience that have heard of the Crunch but maybe not been out to a game, or it's been a while, they haven't seen the new rendition of the organization. Why does this team matter? Just like all the other sports in this town, but why does this one matter to you and matter to the city?
Because we are not, we want to be, but we are not a big organization like the teams that you've talked about earlier, the Cavs, Browns, and Guardians. We're a small organization that cares very much about our fans. We care about our players. We homegrown our players. The players care about ourselves. Um, Indoor soccer in general is just a wild sport, in the fact that it's so much action. I mean, we have a guy, Kevin, we have a guy named McCain Spragling who scores a goal and he does a flip off the board.
Yep.
So the amount of excitement, the amount of things that go on during a crunch game, and usually give Mario a shout out. Usually there's not a whole lot of scoring from the other team because Mario Musa is the best goalie in the MLIS for sure. So just indoor soccer in general is just it's exciting. It's fan engagement. When I was a kid, the force used to come out, and when a goal was scored or when there's a timeout, they would just something so simple as coming out and throwing out balls to the fan, throwing out those foam soccer balls to the fans. We're bringing that back this year. So our biggest thing is fan engagement. How can we hook more fans? How can we bring more energy so people start noticing us? It seems like we can't get a whole, and I appreciate you guys tremendously because we can't get a whole lot of media coverage because of we're not the Browns or the Cavs or the Guardians. But I promise you this: as long as we're going, we're going to try. We're going to do everything in our power to make it bigger and bring it back to the 90s. I just talked to Zoran Karic on the phone, and he's excited. He's having all of his family come out. We have an awesome ceremony planned for him, and we are going the 2023 season, 2022-2023 season. The Cleveland Crunch is all in right now. We are all in.
And I think part of that was the change in leagues too. What has that done? Has it opened up new opportunities for you? I know being brought on as the director of sales and marketing, Ryan, has that helped to open up those opportunities that you've talked about, building with other partners and helping to bring in or connect with more of the past with this present version of the organization?
It has. There's been mixed emotions and opinions about it, but overall, in the long run, switching to the MLIS, I believe, was the right move. Major Arena Soccer League is great, and we would love to play in one, but there's a lot of politics and there's a lot of money involved, and even in M2, and there's other teams that saw that too. The Cincinnati Swerve defected, and the Chicago Mustangs defected, and last year's West semifinals runner-up Omaha Kings defected. So and the thing about the MLIS and Dominic Turcotte, the commissioner and owner of the league, is he has definitely a different vision for this league and just wants to grow it every year. Like, there's already 4 teams that are going to be coming into the league next year, and then there's a waiting list on top of that to get into the league. So I think the league's just going to grow. And I do love that they stream every game, because with the MASL, there were some games that people would have to pay to stream a game. And you know what? We're not going to get out there if we don't put our product out there. And there's other revenue ways, there's other ways to make revenue. But if you can show your product, and hit that core of people, then I think you're okay.
Yeah.
Something you said that like really stuck with me, I liked, is unlike the big three that we have in the city, the players on this team are really more part of the community. It's like how the sports used to be back in the day, where players, they had jobs outside of their thing. Like these players on our team are really more part of our community. They're more like us than actual superstar mega players of the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball. And I think Clevelanders really appreciate that. And another thing is, when I went to that for my first game, there's no bad seat. Like it's such a nice, intimate, like way of watching sports. Like no matter where you are, you're right there in the action. And like you said, with indoor soccer, it blew my mind how much excitement is in that game. Like I was captivated, and it was my first soccer game, and I was just in awe and shock. Like, wow, this is highly competitive, and just like how much I can't figure out how to put it. Just it's like hockey. The physicality of it is what I was looking for. Is it's very physical game. Like
Yeah.
this is not for soft people, man. They go into those boards and it's almost like hockey checks, and they're fighting for that ball. And it was amazing, man. I was blown away. I really enjoyed it. And one of my promises on our show is we're going to help promote you guys the best we can and get that word out there, because I want to see this place packed, and I want to see those players who are part of our community have a huge roaring crowd for them. Because I mean, if you're keeping score and you're representing Cleveland, I want you to do everything in my power to help you guys. And I'm a lover of this crew here. I'm just learning the sport.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean,
mean-
it means a lot to us.
That's the kind of fan I mean, I think both of us being the fans that we going all in on, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, I actually was remember last year when Jay was talking about that on the show, because he had never been to a game, and all the things that he said, and I was like, those are the type that we need to hook. We need to hook them, and you know, look at Jay. You know, he likes it. So
Well, I can't
it's
wait to
there.
go Saturday.
Yeah, it's there. It's going to be electric. It is going to be. We have the amount of things that we have going on our open night. The way we also reach out to the community is we have these youth soccer nights. So Saturday is Shaker Heights Youth Soccer, and Sunday is Brunswick Soccer Association. So all these kids get to come and see, and like you said, the intimate setting. The players love the kids. A lot of them come to camps that we have. So just
I mean, there's a huge youth soccer backing in Ohio. I know that. Like high school soccer's massive over here. Like they love soccer. I just don't think that they have anything to listen to, like a show like ours where we're going to talk about soccer. And now that you guys are back, they have an event to go to. And I mean, you guys, another great thing, you guys are nowhere near as expensive it costs to go to like a Cavs or a Browns game. Like you could take a whole family on a nice budget and go there and have a great time.
Jay, we have a family 4-pack for less than $100, and it's like, yeah.
Well, that brings up a good question, and kind of at the end of this, I mean, we could talk all night about this, Ryan, and I'm sure we're going to talk a lot this week and Saturday. Like, I got some questions for you during the week about, I know Jana wants to come out and how that all works for us. We got to work out all the logistics. I know we're all working through it, but how can people come out to the game, get tickets, get involved with this organization?
Okay, so we have a app that we're using called Ticket Swift, and if you go to www.theclevelandcrunch.com, you can click on tickets and that'll take you to the app. You could do it that way. Like I mentioned, we have a handful of youth soccer programs across Northeast Ohio, and we are offering a special discount to all youth soccer groups, clubs, organizations. That site is Eventbrite, and you could search Cleveland Crunch and you would pull it up, and that gets you $3 off tickets. The IX Center, we're also having two types of seating, Kevin. We're going to have premium seating, which is a stadium style seat that'll be raised, and they're padded chairs. This isn't benches, bleachers. And then we will have our normal floor seating around the field. So Eventbrite is for the youth groups. Any youth group, you can get $3 off, and then Ticket Swift is how you would get tickets. And then for the old school fans that are coming to see our head coach Benny Dargle, you can buy tickets at the door, absolutely too. So
make sure to get on either Eventbrite if you're with the youth soccer organizations, which that was what drew me in, was all the camps and going out to then getting the tickets out to the games and being so accessible to the players. Like, that's what drew me in. That's what drew me into the sport. The Crunch did that more than even outdoor soccer did. And all the videos I was shown of David Beckham and players like that growing up, the Crunch did that. Hector Marinero, Zoran Karic, all of these players did that a lot more for me. So if you are with a youth sports organization, like Ryan just said, head on over to Eventbrite, search the Cleveland Crunch, get $3 off your tickets, or head on over to theclevelandcrunch.com and it'll get you all linked up with the new app, Ticket Swift, or even come out to the IX Center this coming Saturday against the Detroit Waza, 7 o'clock kick at home at the IX Center. And then, of course, on Sunday against Rapid City Football Club at 1 p.m., a matinee affair as well. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on. I know, like I said, you and I are going to talk a lot leading up this week and probably get there early on Saturday and talk there too. And we welcome you anytime. We will talk Cleveland Crunch and soccer anytime on this program. Thank you so much for taking some time tonight to join us.
Kevin, I appreciate you and Jay having me on. It's really great being on.
Absolutely. That is Ryan Ruiz, your Director of Sales and Marketing for the Cleveland Crunch. Home schedule starts this weekend. Go Crunch for sure. We're going to hit our final break of the night. We'll come back, wrap everything up right here on the Voice of the Land on the Big Play Network.
Are you looking for a career in manufacturing? Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has partnered with some of the biggest and the best companies throughout Northeastern Ohio. The recruiters at Vector Technical will coach you through the entire job process and will help you land an opportunity that you are truly excited about. Vector does not add any additional fees and offers benefits as well as free online skills training through Penn Foster. To learn more, visit www.vectortechnicalinc.com and make sure to check out our job board to see a full list of our current opportunities and apply.
See you guys.
Welcome back one final time as Ryan heads off for the night. That was Ryan Ruiz. We were also joined by the captain of the Cleveland Crunch here tonight, David Jordan, talking about Cleveland Crunch soccer. And you're wondering, last week you guys got so many views talking about the Browns and breaking all that down and everything. Why, what are you doing talking about soccer? If you haven't tuned into the show and this is your first time doing it, get used to it. We're going to talk soccer. We're going to talk Cleveland Crunch soccer, but specifically because I had the fortunate opportunity in 2020 during the COVID season of being asked to fill in on play-by-play for the Cleveland Crunch. Peter Tellep he was then brought in to help stream the games, but I was asked to fill in for the great Mark Munch Bishop, who is a long time personality on the airwaves here in Cleveland, especially the radio airwaves. He was at WKNR. He is now at WTAM 1100. I know he's also on, is it 1310 or something like that? The Gambler, or it's like a Fox Sports station that we have here too. And then by 2021, I was asked to do it for the entire season. And Peter and I have been doing that together. Jay's been out to the games. Jay, you got to come out with us too.
I'm going Saturday. I'll get there somehow, or as a fan or media, whatever it is.
Well, you can go on theclevelandcrunch.com and then get the app Ticket Swift to get your tickets. Ryan did forget to mention that parking is $10. If you are a season ticket holder, I believe parking is,
which is nothing. I'm sorry.
yeah,
That's
that's
like I said. I was telling him I paid $70 to park downtown during a Browns game.
you got to
To watch
walk
them
like
lose.
if you're gonna pay $10 for any special event downtown, you're walking about 2 miles to get to that event.
Yeah.
The cheapest you're going to find close by is going to be $20-$30 downtown. So $10 is not a lot. If you go to the auto show all the time at the IX Center, yeah, you get to park for free, but that's because the auto companies all pay for that. And I'm sure they have plenty of money to do so. It doesn't always work that way, but trust me,
It's $10. That's why we keep the IX Center open. That's how we keep it open.
And we are fortunate that when it was sold, it's still the Crunch had the opportunity to do what they did and get out there. So make sure you get out this Saturday, 7:00 against Detroit. And then Rapid City comes in on Sunday, a back-to-back affair at the IX Center for the Cleveland Crunch. That is at 1:00 on Sunday. I will be on the call. I will actually have Mark Munch Bishop as my color commentator, and we'll get all the links posted, I'm sure, Voice of the Land at BTL_pod on social media. We will repost all of those links as we get those up on Saturday. Peter, I promise I will try to get there as early as I can because we're probably all going to be figuring out all at the same time together.
Oh my God. I have to be there just to watch Peter go crazy.
What do you mean?
From a safe distance. From a nice safe
Why
distance.
would I be going crazy? I'm going to be set up probably Friday.
No, yeah, that's true.
So I was actually out at the IX Center this past Friday, and got to see the seats, the bleacher seats, because we were kind of scouting out where we're going to place cameras and where we're going to stick Kevin and Munch for play-by-play. You guys are going to be at the top of the bleachers with the table. So
like
they are
in amongst the fans.
In amongst fans, and they are.
I mean, I'm used to that.
Oh yeah, they are nice seats, cup holders.
Oh,
Nice.
I mean, yeah, I was impressed. I was like, wow, these are very nice. So, and here's best news, Kevin.
Yeah.
The DJ will be set up on the opposite side.
Best news. He's not right behind me and behind my ears and all that.
As much as we love the DJ,
yes,
the speaker placement at the Sportsplex is less than ideal.
Well, with Jana coming too, I don't think there's no headphones to kind of help the baby. So I don't think we need that. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Wasn't there talk that we would be calling the game from some sort of like lift or whatever?
No, we were looking at scissor lifts for the cameras, but we decided that was really not ideal because the platform on those isn't very wide. They're kind of long and narrow. So, and if our camera operators needed to do anything or we needed to get do anything with the camera, you'd have to take the lift up and down. So that would not be ideal. So we figured having the cameras up in the bleachers or in the seats would be the best location for them.
And yet,
when we were kids, I got to steal this story. So when I was a kid, my dad was painting our house, and we lived in Garfield, and he worked at all cranes. So he got one of those scissor lifts to paint our house with.
Yeah.
And from 2:30 till 5:00, there was no parents home. I'd take that scissor lift and I would roll down our street. I'd pull up to my friend's house who was on a duplex, and I'd hop onto his porch, knock on his door, roll out, jump back in the scissor lift, and go back down and freaking him out for a while. But yeah, we took that thing like it was our personal golf cart around.
That explains so much about you, Jay.
Oh, you have no idea. I got stories like that all day.
Oh boy, but it's gonna be a good time at the IX Center. And if you've ever tuned in to CBC TV for the Chagrin Valley Conference with football, basketball, whatever it may be, the production quality, we are in the stands most of the time, whether it's out at a football game or in a gymnasium at a high school, you're gonna get a great quality. Peter, is the goal camera coming back?
I don't know if we're going to be able to have the goal camera only because of the
way it's set up and
the way it's set up and running wires and electrical for that.
So have you seen more than the players have at this point?
No, because when I was there, the actual area where the field will be was empty. They're actually setting up for a bridal show. They had a bridal show there this weekend, and so I saw the bleachers were being pulled out, or the seats. I keep calling them bleachers, but they're really not bleachers. They're seats. Each one's an individual chair. Yeah, they were pulling them out because they were clean. They were making sure everything was cleaned off on them and everything. So, one by one, the guy was there cleaning off all the chairs, and so we got to check those out, and they're impressive. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a very impressive setup for the game.
And looking forward to taking my nephews to a game.
Yeah, it's gonna be always a good time, good family fun, and like Ryan was talking about, they're getting back to some of the other giveaways that they used to do. That I have a bunch of those foam Cleveland Crunch soccer balls at home in my memorabilia box. So it's gonna be a good time. They put on a good show, just like the Guardians usually do. I guess the only team that has a fan fest, I guess you could consider training camp kind of that with the player interaction for the Browns, but not really. I
don't think so. I've never even been to the videos and pictures, and training camp's nowhere near as like intimate and as close to the players as that fan fest is.
And I know we're breaking our New Year's resolution right now. We'll get back to it next week, but we're not going to go too much longer. But I did want to mention it because Jana and I were actually underwhelmed. Not that the Guardians didn't still put on a good show for the fans and how accessible the players were. Stephen Kwan and Will Benson were playing chess with some of the fans. They were going around and playing different rounds with them. You see the players on the Field of Dreams that they put in the Huntington Convention Center. They're out there playing with the kids, having them run the bases, interacting with them. Some of the players of today and tomorrow are out there. We walked in and the energy was just low. And some people were saying that it was because Shane Bieber and Jose Ramirez, the two big draws, weren't there. Congrats to Shane and his new wife. They just got married this weekend. I know Jose's been dealing with surgery, kind of recovering from surgery. They may not want him signing stuff, or he's been helping out in the Dominican as well.
I believe he was in his hometown helping out doing stuff.
Yeah. Which again, I'm not faulting them, and I don't think that that's necessarily. I wouldn't consider that a reason. There should be a lot of excitement for not just Shane and Jose. You got Quan. You got Mr. SpongeBob and Oscar Gonzalez, the kid that wore the SpongeBob outfit. He was there yesterday.
The new guy, Josh Bell.
I don't think Josh Bell was there, but Josh and Bo Naylor were there. That's a big thing, knowing that the brothers are going to be playing together. Heard Bo talk in some interviews. I know he's excited. He's going to be the backup catcher. He's excited to try to help this team. And they talk about being tough, smart, and accountable, and they actually execute that, just like the Cavs do. I guess I was underwhelmed by the energy, the lack of stuff to do. If you wanted to go see the players, you had to do more of the autograph signings, and which you had to pay extra for. It was $15 to get in if you're a general admission person. Plus then you're paying like $40-$50 just to get to one of the autograph sessions to see all the players.
Did you see Andy Billman down there?
I did. I actually talked to Andy, and I was going to talk to you guys about that after the show. Andy Billman, of course, the director of Believe Land, but also War on the Diamond. If you haven't checked that out, go to waronthediamond.com. He wants to
watch it because I was going to come hang out with him this weekend, but we ended up not having time.
We had him, Jana, myself, we had a great conversation out there. He wants to come back on. Come back on the show after the big game. Do you guys know the rule of saying like Super Bowl versus big game? Like, is it just like a marketing thing if you're talking about with a sponsorship thing?
If you say the Superb Owl, they in the past they've tended to send cease and desist letters and to trademark name, and they don't want people. Well, they don't want people tying their events with it, right? So they don't want to have like a, like if you're a pizza place, you can't advertise a Super Bowl party,
right? I got you.
Or Super Bowl special. You can have a special for the big game because they don't want anyone to tie, directly tie that without paying them a
They
ton
don't
of
want
change.
free advertisement for their game.
Oh no, the people know what the Super Bowl is. They want, if
Yeah,
you're
they
going to
want
use
all the-
that, it's not free advertising. They don't want you to use their brand to advertise your thing.
Yeah.
So
What it is, what it is.
Whatever.
I think we can say, because we're just like, we're talking about it from a sports breakdown perspective, but nonetheless, he wants to come on after that big game in the second weekend of February. So Andy Billman, we're definitely going to have you back on. We'll talk about War on the Diamond and break that down. But he has some
It's
takes
so
he wants
good.
to get out too. He's got some takes that he agrees a lot with us on. So looking forward to having him back on, some of the crunch on, things like that. But guys, I know we kind of threw it together and we're staying safe at home, and hopefully everybody again is staying safe. If your roadways aren't great, don't travel, just stay home, stay warm. Guys, this was a lot of fun, and I am
Mhm.
so looking forward to the Cleveland Crunch season. I can't tell you guys.
You and me both. You and me both.
So make sure you guys get out this weekend. TheClevelandCrunch.com. It'll get you to the app, or you can just get your tickets right there. You can get your tickets at the door. If you are with a youth sports organization, take advantage of the discount, $3 off tickets. Go over to Eventbrite, search Cleveland Crunch, and get kids out there, because it had a big impact on me. I can't stress that enough, how big of an impact it had on me. I still love all the other sports that are out there, but the reason why I love soccer so much has a lot to do with the Cleveland Crunch and the way that they interact, and they continue to interact with the city, with the community, and the players are so accessible, and they put on such a family-friendly event. We try to put on a family-friendly event here every single week on the Voice of the Land. You can catch us every Sunday live at 7 p.m. We will try to keep it consistent, not have week on, week off moving forward. Don't know how next weekend's games will affect that. We may have to do, if anything, maybe another virtual one, Peter. Maybe another, kind of resting at home type show.
I don't know, because depending on when we get broken down, it might be easier to do
Yeah.
one from the studio.
So
The studio is only about 15 minutes from the IX Center.
oh, that's true. Yeah. So we'll talk about it as the week goes on. If anything, we will start all of our New Year's resolutions coming in February, not January, but February. Jay, thank you so much. Of course, love the new setup down in your basement. Peter, thank you so much for putting all this together. Thank you, everyone that's tuned in or tuning in on replay and listening to the audio throughout the week. I am Kevin Arnold. That is Always Positive Jay. For our producer, audio, better known as Peter Tullett. Don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all 3,000. Jay?
Don't talk about it, be about it.
And we want you to live life all gas, no brakes. Until next time, thank you for tuning in. This has been the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network.